Hey, welcome. Today we're going to get into something I think we all feel deep down, what it really takes to build something that matters for God, and that intense, almost crushing pressure that seems to show up every single time. Let's dig in and figure out why that is.
Have you ever been there? I mean, really. You decide you're going to serve, you're going to build something, create something good, and then bam, all of a sudden you're hit with resistance or criticism, or it just feels impossibly hard. It really makes you stop and ask, wait, why does trying to do a good thing feel so much like a fight?
So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to walk through 5 key ideas. We'll look at why building is a battle in the first place, then the incredible strategy Nehemiah used to succeed. We'll uncover the hidden danger of distraction, understand the real purpose behind all that pressure, and then most importantly, figure out how you and I can actually use these lessons right now.
All right, first things first. We have to get our heads around this one big idea. The source material we're looking at makes a really bold claim. When you start building for God, you are essentially declaring war. That's a huge mindset shift, but it's crucial.
You see, here's the core principle. It's like a law of spiritual physics. Anytime you push forward for the kingdom of light, you're absolutely going to get a pushback from the kingdom of darkness. So if you're feeling that pressure, it's not a sign you're doing something wrong. No way. In fact, it might just be the clearest sign you're doing something right.
And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? Instead of looking at opposition as a giant red stop sign, we need to start seeing it as confirmation. The pressure proves that what you're doing matters. It's significant enough that it's being noticed and actively resisted.
Okay, so if we know a fight is coming, how in the world do we keep building right in the middle of it? Well, this brings us to this amazing picture, this central metaphor from the incredible story of Nehemiah.
This one verse from the King James Version just perfectly captures the entire strategy. You see, it was never a choice between building or fighting. They had to do both, at the exact same time. One hand for the work, the other hand holding a weapon.
So what does that look like for us right now? Well, the trowel, that's all the practical stuff. The service, the planning meetings, the fellowship, that's our development. But the sword, that's our spiritual defense. That's prayer, that's intercession, that's knowing and using the Word of God. That's our protection.
And this is why the balance is absolutely everything. If you just focus on the work but you're not spiritually ready, you have no sword. That's just naive. You're leaving yourself wide open. On the other hand, if you're all about spiritual warfare but you're not actually doing the work, no trowel, that's totally futile. You're all defense and no forward progress. The real genius is learning how to do both, to worship and war, all at the same time.
But here's where it gets tricky. The opposition doesn't just stick to one tactic. When outright intimidation doesn't work, things get a lot more subtle. You see, Nehemiah's enemies didn't just give up. No, they switched from open threats to hidden traps.
So his enemies invite him for a meeting on what they called the Plain of Ono. Sounds harmless, right? Maybe even productive. Let's cooperate. But Nehemiah knew it was a trap, a diversion designed to pull him off the wall. So the Plain of Ono becomes this powerful symbol for any good-sounding invitation that's really just a distraction from the great work God has called you to do. So how do we spot these subtle traps? Well, the key skill is something the Bible calls discernment. And listen, this isn't just about being smart. It's a spiritual gift, an ability to look beyond the surface of a suggestion and see the real spirit, the real motivation behind it. It's the skill that keeps a builder focused on building the wall. And Nehemiah's response here? Oh, it is a masterclass in focus. He doesn't just say no. He tells them why he's saying no. I'm doing a great work. I can't come down. He knew the work was too important to pause for a distraction. And that focus, that resolute clarity, is the model for us as we navigate a world full of good opportunities that aren't God's best.
So we know pressure is part of the deal. We know how we're supposed to respond. But the question remains, why does God even allow it? Let's take a look at the deeper, more transformative purpose behind all these trials.
Man, the Apostle Paul just lays out this incredible paradox. The pressure is 100% real. We are troubled, we are perplexed, we get cast down, but through faith, we are not destroyed. There's a universe of difference between being pressed and being crushed.
I absolutely love this analogy of the wine press. The whole point of the pressure isn't to destroy the grape. It's to break that outer skin to get to the good stuff, the valuable juice inside.
And in the same way, this pressure we feel is allowed to break our self-reliance so that the amazing power of God can finally flow through our weakness.
And here it is. Here is the promise that pulls it all together. That suffering, it has a purpose, and it has an expiration date. And when you endure it, look at the outcome. God Himself steps in to make you perfect, to establish you, to strengthen you, and to settle you. You know, a foundation that's been through a storm is a foundation you can trust.
Okay, we've covered a lot. We've talked about the why, the how, and the purpose. But now it's time to bring it all home. How do we take these powerful lessons and actually put them into practice in our lives? Like today.
Here are 4 really practical steps. First, do a posture check. Are you all work and no prayer? All trowel? Are you all prayer and no work? All sword? Find that balance. Second, what is your plane of honor? Be honest. Name that one key distraction that's trying to pull you down from your great work. Third, change your reaction. When criticism comes, make your first move prayer, not just defending yourself. And finally, when you get scared, when you feel that fear creeping in, stop, and just like Nehemiah did, remember the Lord. Remember how great He is.
We really hope this has been an encouragement and a help to you. This devotional was brought to you by the You Need Faith in Jesus team.
So as we wrap up, I just want to leave you with one final thought to really chew on. Looking at your life right now, your work, your family, your walk with God, which tool do you really need to pick up today? Is it the trowel to get back to the practical work of building? Or is it the sword to re-engage in the spiritual defense that makes all that work possible?